Hey guys, I hope you're all so well. So, I'm going to do a pick a card reading today, and it's going to be inspired by the question or the intention of bringing through messages to do with your psychic abilities, your soul gifts, more of that intuitive development, bringing through that magical powers that you have within your being. So, Spirit is always going to speak to you through me, whatever Spirit would like to tell you, but really with the focus more on, what do you need to know about your soul gifts to receive more life force energy, or what do you need to be focusing on more, or what's blocking you from receiving more of your own power or more of your own intuitive abilities. That kind of thing. So, there are 3 cards, so 3 readings. You can always watch more than one. Sometimes I see comments of people asking. Yes, you can watch more than one. Watch as many as you feel called to. So, this is from the Rider-Waite Tarot deck, and these 3 cards, these Major Arcana cards, came through like 1, 2, 3, and I was like, okay, these are the ones. So group number 1 is the Fool. Is this focusing, please? There we go. The Fool. Group number 2, Strength. Group number 3, the Hierophant. Come on, come on. There we go. So, yeah, take your time in choosing, and then I'll see how you're reading. Hey, group 1, welcome to your reading. So I'll just quickly let you know that Source Codes is live through my Patreon right now. If you want to check it out, the link will be in the description. It's a new community I'm running. Okay, so back to your reading. With the Fool card, there's so much energy coming through. I feel like you need to be able to let go of something right now and enter into a whole new beginning and take a bit of a leap of faith towards something you are desiring, or towards a new beginning that is sort of opening for you in your life. Spirit's saying that part of your intuitive development right now is being able to make decisions without knowing for sure what the outcome will actually be. So can you learn to become more still in the process of uncertainty, rather than letting it become something that makes you feel ungrounded, or like, the ground beneath you is not so stable. It's kind of like, can you learn to flow with that energy? Because there are times in life where things are going through enormous change, and then there are times in life where things seem to be remaining quite the same. And both come with their, pros and cons, going through. Sometimes we get bored when life feels too stagnant for too long, right? So if not already, you're about to enter a period of intense change, like a clean slate. Like you're being given sort of like a fresh canvas, a blank canvas to reimagine something for yourself. This might be in a certain area of your life, such as work, relationships, or a living situation, or it could be across all areas of your life, which I do see for most of you is kind of more like when it rains, it pours. Like everything's gonna be changing altogether now. Altogether now. Okay, more messages coming through. Really work with the energy of nature, because see how there's this character is outside on a cliff. There's a sun shining above him, and then there's a little dog or puppy as his companion. Working with the energy of nature right now really important, because what I'm seeing for you is that you might feel like people aren't understanding your process right now, or that your process in life is leading you away from your normal support system, or that you are actually having to relocate, therefore, or go on a journey or travel, therefore you are leaving behind certain structures or networks that you did rely upon. So there's a sense of like, can you find, and this will really help ground you into this like energy of change that you're going through. Can you like use the energy of the sun and really soak in the energy of the sun and allow it to really uplift you and give you life force and give you energy and give you clarity and focus? And can you use the energy of nature, the actual earth beneath your feet, to really ground into your own soul essence? Because really I feel like this is partly an initiation at whatever level you're experiencing it at. It's partly like an initiation into basically your internal world. And what I mean by that is not feeling so concerned about what your external reality is reflecting to you, because it's always changing. You know, change is the only sure thing that we have, right? It's the only certainty, is that there is uncertainty. So Spirit's kind of saying like, this is one of the skills of the spiritual warrior, is to basically thrive no matter what the external reality looks like. Now, there's a fine line between this, okay? And it's not about staying in negative situations. This is something I was actually talking about on Source Codes recently. It's not about staying in environments that are unhealthy or in relationships that are disrespectful. It's not about that, but it's about there is like in life there is a lot of change, right? Like there's so much movement happening in life. And so can you stay anchored and centered into something much deeper than the external reality, which is in some ways an illusion, yeah? So that you can kind of go through periods with a lot of strength and a lot of like adventurousness. I'm seeing really needing to transform any energies or frequencies of fear into that of adventure. Like, feel excited about the unknown rather than fearful of it right now. Again, looking to helpers that are more from the animal kingdom or from the subtle realms. So spirit helpers and animals and the plants and the energies of nature and the cycles of all things, looking to that to really assist you. We're in a change of season right now. I mean, in the southern hemisphere, we're going into autumn, so there's a cooling down of the energy. For people in the northern hemisphere, you're going through spring, so there's a warming up of the energy. And Spirit's kind of saying, look to these cycles and like align yourself with them to allow for like greater flow in your life, because there's something about reconnecting with the cycles of the earth and kind of using that as your community. Like, I'm seeing like, can you go into a forest and feel at home in the leaves and the trees and the, you know, amongst the leaves and the trees and with the birds and the animals and the moss on the floor and all these things, and kind of like allow that to nourish you? Because I'm seeing that you need to get out of the city, or you need to get out of like man-made structures more and kind of like rewild into the natural setting is what I'm getting. There's also an energy about this card. So the Fool is ruled by the planet Uranus. Okay, so Uranus is about like innovation and change, but on like a really like lightning sort of scale. Like, it's like really fast kind of change. So, and like shocking, and it innovates. It's something that when a change comes, it leaves behind an old system or an old way of being. And this is what I'm feeling for you in your life, is like there's this lightning coming down through your vessel, and it's bringing through these codes or this new energy that's such a high voltage that it's going to be like relocating you to a new state of consciousness. Interesting. So really as well, I'm seeing that it's an activation of your innate essence and the gift that you're here to share with the world, which is largely one of invention and innovation. So you're not really meant to do things in a traditional way. You're meant to do things in a way that's like new or never been done before, or people look at you and say, that's a bit of a strange way of going about things, you know, or they don't understand. And Spirit's kind of like, can you feel more at home and at peace with the energy of being a little bit of an alien, or even feeling alienated sometimes from the everyday, like even alienated from the collective, or even potentially at times from a community. Like you might think, oh, this community or this group of people I'll resonate with, but you might not. And Spirit's kind of saying, like, there's nothing wrong with you, but it's sort of about seeing how this unique way that you're built is like lightning. Like there's so much power available to you, and it's fast and it strikes. There is also a sense with that message coming through about community that maybe just needing to accept that you work best in solitude, or maybe that you're just simply going through a little period of your life where you are more alone, or you may maybe have a partner or something, but you just need to spend more time to yourself, or just like more there's something about a message coming through, like where maybe community isn't really the place to go looking for your needs to be met right now. Like you're maybe not gonna fully meet that in, and I'm more getting it from in real life, because Uranus does rule the internet, so you might actually have success finding people online or that you resonate with, but there's sort of like maybe another message coming through is like maybe needing to leave your community of origin, or find a new way of being with your family or something that allows for more solitude and more allows for you to be more of this unique, authentic self that you are. And kind of like it's the time to innovate, it's the time to create change, it's the time to do something differently, it's the time to reinvent yourself, and in a way that's more authentically you. I think you are someone who's very authentic regardless, but kind of like getting into a new layer or a new level of like not caring what people think of you, like really getting into a new level of that. And finding the freedom, you know, look at how free the Fool is, you know, and maybe other people in your life might call you the Fool, you know. And that might be hard to bear sometimes, but I think this is part of this initiation for you into this deeper power that you hold and into your magic, really, is like letting go of people saying, hey, you're a fool, and trusting that you're guided by something much deeper than what can be seen on the external, or much deeper than perhaps what people around you are guided by. You know, you're tapped in, you're very, very tapped in. And so some people might see this change as you like walking off this cliff right here, like the Fool. But for you, it's like you have to take this step into the unknown or off this cliff so you can fly. And people in your life, like the everyday person, you know, they're not gonna fly. They don't believe in being able to fly. Do you know what I mean? And all of this is obviously metaphorical. Please don't go walking off any cliffs anytime soon. But do you know what I'm saying? It's like when you take a step into the unknown, sure, you don't know what's gonna happen. You might fall flat on your face or you might fly. But it's about being willing to do it anyway, and being willing to engage with the fabric of this life without so much attachment to what the external is showing you, without so much attachment to how it looks in the physical manifestation or the physical reflection of what's going on internally for you. And being able to like thrive in that space of adventurousness, thrive in the space of uncertainty, because you're guided by something that has an electric charge, you know. There's like this electric charge to the way that you're programmed, that's like electricity, or it's like lightning. And yeah, really thriving on that instead of trying to like make it work within an environment that it just isn't working for you. So again, maybe needing to change your environment. I feel like that's a strong message coming through for you. And that could be in big or little ways, you know. It could be as like simple as rearranging some stuff in your house, or keeping the energy of your home turning around. Or it could be as big as relocating or moving, or you know, really ending any toxic patterns of relationship, because our relationships certainly create an environment, right, that we are experiencing. Okay. Heaps of energy for you, heaps of energy coming through. So yeah, if you've also been going through a period of time where you might not have felt like you have had as much energy recently, that will be returning to you like triple fold is what I'm seeing. Like, so if you've been having these two cards fell. Oh my god. Okay, so there might be a little bit of an energy of chaos as well, and that's part of the unknown is what I'm getting, is like the unknown is not predictable, and it's often, you know, there's something about you've come from a period of being very ordered and orderly, and now spirit is like needing to, or you as your own spirit, your own higher self is needing to like rebalance your energies, because everything in the universe is seeking balance. So it's like if you've been over here in this orderly energy and now you're moving in to a time of change, it might appear as kind of like chaotic a little bit, but really spirit's saying like, can you try to thrive in that chaotic energy instead of feeling like there's something going wrong because it's chaotic? Spirit's like, no, it's meant to be, because it's a rebalancing of things. And it's also kind of like inviting your divine feminine energy out to thrive and flourish, because the divine feminine is really the energy of chaos, and the divine masculine is really the energy of order. And ultimately we need both. You know, we can't favor only one in our life. We need them to be in union or in harmony ultimately. So these two animal cards fell out. So we've got overcome any obstacle. Okay, rhino spirit. And then we have take time out with brown bear spirit. So I feel like this is really the energy of the solitude message I was bringing through for you, is needing to have a little bit more solitude in your life, less commitments to other people, because, you know, time is a strange old thing. And I just feel like spirit's kind of encouraging you to use the resources of your time. Yeah, because it says take time out. So there's something about the way that you use your time over the next little period of time that's really important. And I would suggest, from what the energy I'm feeling, is that you're going to want to have a little bit more solitude and have the freedom. You know, like, don't have heaps of commitments or obligations or promise to socialize with 110 different people. Like, you're going to want to be pretty spacious in a way. Like, you want to give yourself a lot of space and a lot of time to yourself to let energies come through, because I'm also seeing that you're going to get a download, like, or an epiphany, or this point of revelation or breakthrough where you're going to be like, I have to work on this idea, and it's going to be like an invention or something that you're just going to feel really compelled to bring through into the world, and it's going to light you up and you're going to feel really inspired about it. So there's a lot of positivity, but you don't want to feel pulled or torn between, you know, all these commitments and obligations to all these people versus like what your true life force energy and inspiration is coming through as for you. So with the overcome any obstacle, see how there's a spiral on this rhino's third eye. What I'm feeling from this is like, it's the energy of the chaos and using your discernment through your third eye to like navigate that. See how there's all these flowers around this rhino and like wings and stuff, and it's very pretty, and it's got a little crown on its horn thing. Work with the divine feminine energy with reverence. Do not work with it in any kind of condemnation or degradation energy. Work with the divine feminine energy with reverence, even if it is showing up to you as chaos or as perceived obstacles, because that's why the third eye is highlighted in this card. Everything is subjective to our perception of it. And if you can see the obstacles and the chaos that's unfolding as a beautiful gift from the goddess, for you to thrive through and reclaim maybe some hidden powers in the depth of your being that were not able to be brought out through the energy of order, but actually needed this fertilizer of chaos, then you can start to dance with that energy and enjoy it and see it for the blessing and the magic that it's offering you. Okay. Anything else about their intuitive abilities? Yeah, there's something that you're going to invent or something you're going to begin. It's going to help a lot of people. You're definitely here to reach a lot of people because the Fool, okay, is ruled by Uranus. Uranus rules the internet. The internet basically is like a web that encompasses pretty much like everybody, right? Pretty much everybody's on the internet. So there's something that's coming through that's going to help everyone. And this could be an actual invention that's like physical, or it could be like a download that you receive through your own vessel that is then contributed to the collective consciousness in a meaningful way. But you have to open to the energies of the Divine Feminine. You cannot be afraid of her, okay? Because she lives within you and she holds a lot of magic. This is like a reclamation energy of some shadow stuff to do with maybe rejection of the feminine. Learning to rest as well with Brown Bear Spirit, take time out. The feminine does not appreciate being forced, okay? The feminine is way more spontaneous, you know? And there's sort of this invitation, again, it's like an invitation to like dance with your Divine Feminine and to let her free, to be free and wild and yeah, all of that. It's a really positive time, you guys. Like, there's a lot being offered to you in this time. And as always, there will be shadow work, right? There will be shadow work as well, because I'm seeing there will be some shadow work. But it's not like, it's all about the way that you choose to perceive it, okay? Through the third eye. And when we're at a high frequency, naturally, like, when we're at a high frequency, even if it's for a brief moment, naturally we will perceive our life in a very different way than if we're experiencing a more dense and lower frequency. So really understanding as well the mechanics of like how frequency shifts your perception of things and kind of allowing for, allow for that negative, lower density perception of things. That's allowed. Like, you don't have to deny that, but also recognize the illusion inherent in low frequency. There is inherently distortion to the way you can interpret your life events. And when you have that breakthrough, think about it, breakthroughs, epiphanies, revelations, they always happen from a really high frequency. And it's very clarifying. And this is something you need as a person and as an energy in the way that you're built, is that you do need clarity. And this comes through like lightning for you. So potentially there will be some anxiety, and this is part of the shadow of the rebalancing of your Divine Masculine and your Divine Feminine energy, is that if there is a period where you don't have clarity, instead of forcing and striving for clarity, allow it to come to you. And I know this won't be easy, okay? Also, I'm getting told you can work with the energy of selenite. That could actually assist you quite a lot during this time period. But really work with the Divine Feminine and work with that. You can work with that if you want practical things, like you can work through having a really healing bath with different like herb, aromatherapy, or put salts, like nice grade salt in the bath, bubble bath. Work with the Divine Feminine through meditation. I'm seeing for you, the meditation is really a beautiful union of both Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine, because you need the discipline to sit and meditate, but you need the compassion and the love for yourself, that it doesn't become like self-punishment or torture. You have to bring a certain gentleness to the practice as well, so that you don't hate it. So meditation could be a really good practice for you to really ground and center into your own essence and energy while there might be a lot of change happening. I would suggest sitting every day in the morning or at a time that suits you, but I prefer meditating in the morning because I feel like later at night, you know, the day's gone by and then I'm more scattered and it's harder to like bring the energy in. But, you know, go for what suits you. Yeah, meditation, really recommended. Okay. And it doesn't have to be long, like even 20 minutes would clear your aura and help you ground into your internal energy more. All right, let's do one card to end for you, group 1. Seems like a really exciting period that you're going to be entering, or you are in right now. One card for group 1 to end on, Spirit, please. Expect a miracle. Have faith that your prayers have been heard and are being answered. There you go. This is pretty much the most positive card you can get. I do feel like the miracle, like, interpret it how you want. I do feel like the miracle is the revelation you're going to have, the download. Really positive. Alright, group 1, that's all I have for you today. Hope it served you in some way. And yeah, be sure to check out my Patreon if you're interested. Much love. Group 2, strength. Cool. So just before we begin, I want to let you know that my Patreon community source codes is live, so you can go check it out if you haven't already and see if it might resonate with you or not. Okay, so strength. Where are we going to begin? We're going to begin with another tarot card. I feel like you might be going through a period of time right now of like not knowing, of not quite knowing something. Or feeling like maybe the universe is like withholding information from you or something. Or feeling like you're having to be really patient or strong definitely strong in the face of like something maybe quite persistent, like a persistent issue. Okay, 7 of Swords. Okay, so what Spirit wants to tell you is that right now there needs to be an acknowledgement of some kind of truth in your environment or in your life or in your relationships or within yourself or in your shadow or in your workplace or something. There needs to be an acknowledgement of truth so that you can move forward in a more meaningful way. It feels like maybe some truth is being withheld from you, or maybe you're withholding the truth from yourself, because I do feel like you're an intuitive person, and so I do feel like there may be something that you need to kind of like receive or accept. You know what I mean? There's something that needs to be acknowledged. Interesting. In what? Can you give me more in this message? See, even it feels like the message in a way is being withheld from me. Okay, there you go. There needs to be a change in your perception or your perspective on things with the Hanged Man. See how he's hanging upside down? There's something right in front of your face that for some reason you can't fully see or grasp of right now. And it's going to, when you can fully like receive it, it's going to mark like a new beginning for you in the way that you can bring through your psychic abilities. And you're going to have this victory in the earthly realm with the 6 of Wands. There's going to be like some kind of, it's going to help with your career. It's going to help you to, this is so cryptic, but it's going to help you to be like more of a leader, I'm seeing. And especially there's something really profound about this truth. Like this truth is not that you're coming to. This truth is not just some little thing of like, oops, I didn't see that there. It's like, this has to do with your like life path and your soul mission and your soul's intention for your life. There's like a really deep truth that needs to be acknowledged, and Spirit's saying that you have the strength to do so. Okay, because it might be quite painful, or it might be a recognition of betrayal or of deception with the Seven of Swords, all right? Because Seven of Swords does talk about deception and things not being what you think they are, right? Like, you know, but there's something really important, like there's a spiritual reason for this. Like, it's something your soul chose to experience and go through. And I do see you helping others with it, with the Six of Wands. I see you helping others go through it and heal from it. But it takes your strength to initially bring it through yourself and honor it and be with it. Okay? So, can you give me any more clarity on this message, Spirit? The King of Pentacles, and then the back of the deck is Judgment. This is what I mean. Like, this is this is like a really big message for you, because it's a really big truth that needs to be brought in as the truth. It's like sitting around your aura, but it's not fully like being brought in, because when we really bring in a truth, that's when we have to take action accordingly, right? But Spirit's saying, yeah. So King of Pentacles, it could be to do with a relationship partner, or to do with a father figure, or someone who has had maybe, or a boss, or someone who maybe has some kind of influence over your finances or your resources, or who's been a really stable figure for you in your life. Doesn't have to be a male by any means. Potentially more of a masculine person though. Oof. Okay. From childhood, potentially. It goes deep, basically. Okay? Why is this message coming through today, Spirit? Eight of Wands. Okay. Because there's a block in your energy field right now where this truth isn't coming in. And once it can come in, all of your energy is going to start going and moving really fast again with the Eight of Wands, and things are going to flow again. But right now, there's this truth, and it's kind of like a thing that's stopping your wheels from turning. Like there's like a stick in the wheel and it can't turn, right? And that's like your energy center. Like you could just say the chakras, right? Our chakras, they spin. And if we get a blocked chakra, overactive, underactive, whatever, then it's like there's something there that can get wedged in sometimes that needs to be assisted so that it can flow again. And for you, it's something about a truth that needs to be seen and acknowledged, because the truth is always around us. Like, even if someone's lying to our face, it can be hard to know what the truth is, but it's always there and it's always available to us, especially when you are someone who is incredibly psychic, but I actually feel that you've gone through a lifetime where you have, for whatever reason, been conditioned to doubt yourself and doubt your insights, or doubt your readings on people, or doubt your intuitive downloads, like this person's lying to me, or this person is not being honest, or whatever. And Spirit's sort of saying this is part of this huge like lesson and cycle you're going through, is really like learning again to trust in your own body and your own intuition, and not deny that, because that's what's keeping this pattern alive. It's kind of like what I'm seeing is like maybe there was someone in your childhood or in your family that you felt really anxious around, or that for whatever reason, was a source of anxiety for you, or other things. And then as a kid, maybe you didn't ever get that validated, so you grew up as an adult, and then you keep finding the same energy signature in other people in your life that you're attracting. But instead of doing anything, like when that person starts to be maybe mean or say something out of line, instead of like stepping in and stepping up and standing up for yourself, it's like you repeat the same pattern of what a child would do, which is just accept it as it is and not do anything about it. Which there's nothing inherently wrong with that, but it's just that it causes you pain, and Spirit needs you to acknowledge that now so that you can stop this cycle and you can stop attracting these kinds of people into your life and allowing them a space in your life, if that makes sense. And it's really deep stuff, okay? What this message is really deep, and I'm going to try and bring it through in the best way I can, okay? But I'm finding it quite hard to unpack. So strength. The other message coming through with this card is that you have an ability to actually withstand like challenging environments more than the average person, but then you use your strength to stay in situations that other people would not have the strength to stay in. Do you know what I mean? Rather than like using your strength to say no to people who are toxic or to leave certain things so that you can then thrive and have strength in your life in general. It's like you use that inner strength you have. It's not for bad or anything, but it's just for you're in a really intense environment, and maybe it's like you don't always acknowledge that for yourself, or it's a stressful environment, or potentially I'm seeing some like potential red flags, you know, of people in your environment that you need to kind of come to the truth of, okay? And for some people, you know, it's not available to leave an environment, and I totally respect that. And in that case, then do you have a message for those people, Spirit? If maybe they aren't able to leave, or they aren't able to take the action to, when you realize about somebody being a certain way and you're not able to get out of that situation for some reason, maybe you're living with them or you're dependent financially. Let's see. So, okay. So the cards that flew out for that is boundaries. Love yourself enough to say no to other people's demands on your time and energy. Okay? And then medicine woman, you're a channel for divine healing power. I love that one. So, I mean, boundaries, yeah, straightforward. I mean, I think Spirit, you see what Spirit's saying is, you know, just have boundaries. If that's all you can do, have boundaries within the space with that person, or, you know, say no more to that person's demands on you, because there are some people, some personalities that, you know, they're gonna just take as much energy from you as they can, and it's really up to you to dictate like how much you're willing for that to happen, you know what I mean? And then medicine woman, you're a channel for divine healing power. Spirit's reminding you that you have the power within yourself to heal any situation. And you are a channel for, I think you are very much a healer. And the stuff that you've gone through in your life, and maybe you need to acknowledge this even more for yourself, stuff you've gone through in your life has required great strength, like cosmic strength. That's the kind of strength you've needed, right? It's like cosmic levels of strength, you know? And that's an amazing thing, you know, but you also, it's kind of like you've gotten used to having to be so strong all of the time that sometimes maybe the guidance is, you know, don't put yourself under so much strain, you know, and try to find people, places and things or jobs that don't require such ridiculous amounts of strength just to get through, you know. I think the message for you is like, can you ease yourself into a more peaceful and easeful environment, rather than just repeating the same pattern of I need to be strong, I'm just going to get through this, you know? Yeah. Okay. Message coming through for you. I am my own unique self. I am my own unique self. Everyone is unique and different. If we are like other people, then we are not expressing our specialness. Interesting. I want to clarify that one. I freely express who I am. It is my birthright to express myself in ways that are fulfilling to me. Okay. I'm starting to get a little bit of a picture going. Got some affirmations up on my wall I was just looking at. Let's see one more. Oof. Healing means to make whole and to accept all parts of myself, not just the parts I like, but all of me. I love myself totally in the now. Okay. So it's your birthright to express yourself in ways that are fulfilling to you and that you're your own unique self. I feel like maybe there's something about your environment currently where you don't feel like you can be your own unique self or express yourself fully. And Spirit is kind of just reminding you like that it's your birthright to be able to express yourself in ways that are fulfilling for you, and like that is a basic need in a certain way. So even if you can't get it in one area of your life, try to make sure that that's still being met in other areas of your life. Everyone is unique and different. If we are like other people, then we're not expressing our specialness. I feel like maybe there's someone in your environment who makes you feel ashamed of being unique or different or expressing yourself in different ways than maybe they would. And I feel Spirit saying to recognize like how that actually makes you feel, because maybe you've like come to a place of saying, oh, that's just how they are, or this is just what it's like, or I'm just strange, or whatever. And Spirit's kind of saying, no, like it's your birthright to be able to express yourself however you want, as long as it's not harming anyone, right? That's your birthright, you know? And healing means to make whole and accept all parts of myself, not just the parts I like, but all of me. And I see this, there's a shadow side coming with this strength card, okay? Because you've had to be strong for so long that it can sometimes turn into force, you know? There's a shadow element to strength, which is more like force, like forcing the shoe to fit or forcing yourself to stay in a stressful environment or job or something, yeah? And so strength is no longer strength, it becomes force in those instances. So Spirit is just flagging that, and when we're healing, right, we inevitably are going to come up against patterns or parts of ourselves that are really confronting and challenging. And you know, I just talked a lot about some shadow work I've been doing on source codes, and it's deep stuff, right? It's really deep stuff we confront. So I do see some shadow to do with force, and to do with, again, using this strength against yourself in like a forceful way, instead of having that strength to stand up for yourself against people who are critical, toxic, whatever, having boundaries and being like, hey, I'm not going to listen to your shit today. You know, kind of like turning that against yourself and being like, well, if I were just trying to like force yourself to be different is what I'm getting. Because again, I am my own unique self, right? You're allowed to be whoever the flip you are. And there are always people on this earth. There are always souls on this earth who will absolutely celebrate you for 100% of who you are. And you don't have to censor any of who you are. And you can be as strange and as weird and as expressive, unique as you want, and they will celebrate you truly. And there's just such freedom in that experience. Like, I feel like it's just like a basic need, and yet it's so not basic. Like most of us don't have it. And I know for myself, when a relationship came into my life where I could finally be like so expressive and weird, and you guys know I'm weird a little bit, but like there's a certain level of weird that you are when you're just like in your own space and you're like wearing daggy clothes and you're just like being really weird, right? And it's like it's sort of weird to not be that. It's sort of weird to not express that. It's like an inner child playfulness that, you know, is certainly not like sexy or anything, but it's just fun. And I feel like that energy wants to come through you more. There's like a containedness to your energy. But again, it's like that line between, is it strength or are you forcing yourself to be a certain way? And Spirit's also saying with the Hanged Man that if you are in a situation that's challenging for you, like in a relationship or a living situation or a workplace or something where maybe there's toxic people around or whatever, that there's always a pathway for you out of that if that's what you choose. And like I said, it's not for everyone. And that message that came through about boundaries and medicine woman, the healing power, you know, channeling your healing power. If you are staying in a situation, then do that. But if you are able to leave, or if it is the right thing for you to do, then recognizing that there's always a pathway out and there's always a way of seeing that path. Like you might be sitting in your job right now and hating it and feeling anxiety about your boss or something, but Spirit's saying, like, if you look at it from a different perspective, you will see that you are already free. Like you are already free, you know. And even though it can be hard to see, like, but how am I going to support myself and stuff, there is always a pathway available to you. So you can pray to bring that in. Yeah. And maybe that's the thing that you need to be able to see, like from the start of the reading, is that there's always a pathway out. There's always a pathway to something new or something better awaiting you. Okay, let's do another card for you guys. Might want to write down those affirmations that came through as well. Okay, group 2, card of guidance for group 2, Spirit. Interesting. Fairness. The situation will be handled in a fair and just manner. Okay, so this is clarifying what I was picking up on, that there's a situation, because it literally says the situation. So I'm definitely picking up on a toxic energy in your environment, potentially male or more masculine. It could be a woman though, don't get me wrong. And there's a need for you to give yourself justice, to give yourself a fair shot. And there's no black and white with these things, you guys. Like, I'm not saying that the right thing to do is leave necessarily, because I know there's often a lot of complexity in things, and you might have children or, you know, whatever. There's other stuff. Maybe it's a job situation and you really need the money right now, and that's fine. It's not about black and white, you know, it's this way or that way. It's just about recognizing that you deserve justice, whatever that looks like to you. Maybe that looks like you really demanding self-respect through setting boundaries, you know, and really like lifting the bar for yourself around what you will and will not put up with. Or it is, you know, recognizing that you can leave because you are already free, you know, you're already free. These people that are, you know, very domineering and controlling and, you know, like, it's just that classic thing, and I've had this situation before. It's what I'm picking up on, is like when you have a job and there's like someone at your job who's like narcissistic or controlling or just really mean or a bully, and it gives everyone anxiety to go into work, and, you know, it's that thing. And sometimes with those people, it can create this shadow feeling of like, I don't have a choice, I just have to go to this thing, or I just have to do this thing, or, but we always have a choice. And these people that are very controlling and, you know, domineering, they like to make us feel like we aren't free and that they have control over us. But it's not true, it's an illusion. And we always have the freedom, and we can always take our precious selves and leave. and go take our precious selves somewhere else where we will be cherished for who we are, you know, and not waste your energy and your precious time on these people who are so disrespectful, you know, or who are bullies, and it's just an endless cycle, you know what I mean? So Spirit is wanting you to know that justice is available to you, but it might be something you need to seek out for yourself, right? Because there is a lesson inherent in this situation, if it's big or small, whatever level of situation that you're in, there's a divine lesson, a soul lesson involved in this. And when you get through this lesson, like whatever that looks like for you, and it's going to look different for everybody, there is something, a lot of wisdom. You've already got wisdom from being in this situation, but there's like a level up coming for you. No matter what, like even if you're staying in the situation, there's a level up available to you to do with boundaries and to do with your own your own healing abilities, your own channel for healing power. And if it is about leaving, then it's about recognizing the justice that is yours, you know. And I think really it's about self-value and valuing yourself, and maybe also reflecting on your life and seeing, why do I put up with, say, a boss who is really disrespectful, or who's a bully, or who is controlling, or has poor boundaries, or, you know, contacts me every day in a really aggressive way, or whatever it is, right? Like, why has this come into your life? What is it showing to you? What's it reflecting to you? And really doing that shadow work to see, like, where does this stem from? Is it from your childhood? Is it like your dad was like this, or your mom, or, you know, where did you learn that it was okay to allow people to treat you like that? Is a really big question I would ask and do some journaling about, because there are certain personalities in the world, you know, and I'm talking about the healthy expression and emanation of this kind of personality, where they will never put up with a job like that. They will never put up with a person like that. You know, the first time someone tries to be disrespectful or a bully or push someone's boundaries, you know, they will stand up for themselves and they will say no, and they will not let it happen, and they'll call that person out, no matter how messy or like conflicting it becomes, like how much conflict it creates. They will do that. And that's an energy that I feel wants to come through for you with strength, but it's like that message from the beginning, which was like, you have this insane amount of strength, but it's like you use it to be able to withstand these situations that the average person just would not be able to, right? The average person just can't, they wouldn't last as long as you in that job, you know? I'm thinking about when I worked in the film industry here, and there was this woman who owned she owned like an acting agency. So you would go to her to hire actors and get auditions and stuff, and I used to like do all the work to like cast actors and stuff. And she was just the biggest like bully ever, and she was just horrible to everyone around her. Like, no one got a good side of her, you know, whether they were actors at her agency or people trying to like use her agency to hire people. She was like just a nightmare, and everyone had these stories about her and how like awful she had been to people, and a lot of actors would just quit and leave. But there was this one secretary there who worked under this woman like every day, and she had been there for like over a decade dealing with this woman, this bully of a person, you know. And I sometimes would tune into this woman's energy, and she was very kind and nice, and then her boss was just like this tyrant. And I would tune into this woman's energy and I'd be like, how do you do it? Like, how? Because most people just like, for me, like I would avoid this woman's calls. I would like be like, I'm not available. I would just be like like block, like I don't want to deal with you. But this woman, this secretary, worked under her, and she'd been there for so long, like so loyal to this toxic woman. And you know, I don't think it was necessarily from a healthy place, but I don't know, maybe it was, I don't know. But it's kind of making me think of that. It's like there are some people, and you seem to be one of them, that you can withstand these environments and use your strength in them. But it's like, can you do some shadow work to see like, where does that come from? Is that come from you having a really stressful environment as a kid, and so just learning that that's what you do in life, or, you know, that kind of shadow work, right? Because ultimately this strength, like that woman, the secretary, she has enormous amounts of strength to withstand a personality like that. I don't know what detriments it had on her health or her body, or, you know, her physical health or her mental health and stuff. But still, I mean, the endurance training of that is like phenomenal, right? But it's like, imagine if she took that strength and put it towards something else. Like, I don't know what the right thing for her to do is, and I'm not trying to say I do, but objectively, like, it seemed like a pretty toxic environment, right? Like, just a lot of evidence to point to that. So it's like, imagine if that secretary brought her own gift of strength and endurance and loyalty and all these other things into something that actually respected her, you know, away from a woman, a boss who like belittled her every day and bullied her every day and whatever. Imagine, right? And in a certain way, that's kind of like a message coming through for you. It's like, what would happen if you could take this amazing strength you have and put it towards yourself, right? Instead of towards withstanding other people's energy. All right, let's do one message to end with. Let's do an animal card to end with, an animal spirit for you. Oof. Snake spirit, time to heal. Yeah, and even in this card, like, there's an energy of, like, you've kind of been bitten a bit. You've kind of faced some poison in your life a bit. There's been some poisonous energy around you, and it's time to heal and like detox from that, really. Okay? And some of you guys are probably much further into that healing journey, and some of you guys is still a process of recognition of like, hey, this behavior isn't okay, and that kind of stuff. All right. Wow, this reading's gone for 30 minutes. Okay. It was a bit harder to like unravel than usual, but group 2, I send you off with so much love, and I really, hope that you can enjoy your strength for yourself and enjoy this time of healing you're going through. All right, much love to you. See you later. Hey, group 3. So already I feel like the message coming through for you is that it's time to kind of step up more into a bit of a leadership role, or a bit of a role of like a teacher or of a Hierophant or a high priestess, kind of like conducting ceremony or ritual, or leading a group in meditation, or sharing your divine knowledge with the world a little bit. And there's a need to... Oh, it's so cold. There's a need to acknowledge like the fact that you are good enough and that you have enough to share, okay? It's very interesting. It's a really clear message. It's kind of like time to put on your teacher hat and get out into the world and share what you know, because I feel like you sometimes can underestimate your ability to influence people or to assist people. And Spirit's kind of saying, hey, this next phase of your psychic abilities really involves you stepping out into the world and like sharing yourself more and putting yourself out there and being more in a role of sharing or teaching or leading or holding space for a group. And it's interesting because the message that I'm getting in your reading is that that is what is going to unlock like the next level of your gifts for you. It's not going to happen behind closed doors where you're just sitting and meditating alone, although I always recommend that. But it's interesting because Spirit's kind of like pushing you a bit out of your comfort zone here actually, and saying you're going to have your level up, your breakthrough, your next level of abilities come through when you are in more of a role of sharing that with the world. And that can be in a little way or a big way. It can even be at the level Spirit's saying of like sharing yourself within a group of people as well. And I forgot to say at the beginning, and I wanted to tell everyone in each group, Source Codes is live. It's through my Patreon, link in the description if you did want to join that community. Just FYI, sorry to interrupt your reading. Okay, let's get back into it. So let's pull you another card from this deck. Actually, I haven't used this deck yet. It's the Work Your Light Oracle by someone, I forgot who it is, sorry. And okay, so for group 3, Spirit, would you like them to know? Trying to get comfy on my chair. Okay, quite a few. Back of the deck though, am I right? Share your voice, come out of the cave, persecution and expression. Yeah, there is some fears here around sharing your voice. There is some fears around stepping out into the world, being seen, potentially being judged, being persecuted. I think that it's very much to do with you sharing in the spiritual realm, because even if we're not consciously aware of it, although a lot of us are, we can also have like subconscious programming that's saying, you know, it's not safe to share information about magic or about psychic things, or that it's, you know, it's not safe to put yourself out there as being a face of these things. It might be from past life persecution as well, or from very real persecution within your community or your culture as well. These things will be coming up for you right now as a way of like moving through that shadow of resistance into a new way of being, because I'm seeing that like the world kind of needs you. Even if you don't think that you're good enough, Spirit's kind of saying, please take this message today that you are good enough, and that you start where you are and you share where you are. Even if where you are then changes really quickly, you still share from the perspective of where you are currently, right? And then you grow and you get more downloads and you get better abilities and all these things. And certainly for the way that you're coded, for some reason, it's in your destiny for you to share. Be more of a teacher or a leader and share with the world. And that's really going to be something that allows your gifts to come through at a next level for you. And it's kind of that simple, and yet it's not simple, because there's a lot of resistance in you to do that, and a lot of shadow work coming up to be cleansed and cleared for you to be able to progress and free yourself from those restricting beliefs, actually, those limiting beliefs. Because starseed, what lights you up? You're a starseed. You have knowledge from the stars. You have cosmic divinity within yourself that you're here to share. And I'm getting a lot of I'm getting a lot of an energy of like you not valuing yourself enough, or not thinking that you're like good enough to do that, or that no one would care what you have to say. Or maybe thinking like, but I'm not perfect yet, and that kind of stuff. But Spirit's saying you're gonna get so much inspiration just from doing this. Like, you're gonna feel really a lot of life force, a lot of inspiration, a lot of motivation. Things are going to start accelerating for you when you step into this role. You're going to start meeting more like-minded souls that you can collaborate with. Like, there's a lot going to be unfolding for you, but you still have free will whether you walk through this portal or not. It's kind of like a doorway opening for you right now. You can walk through it or you can choose not to, and either one is your choice. But Spirit's kind of saying, you know, it's that classic thing of like, don't let the fear of failure keep you from even having a shot at something. It's like, what is that quote? It's like, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, you know? And there is the need to kind of like lighten up a little bit as well, because I feel like you're taking this really seriously and it's like causing you a lot of stress. And Spirit's saying, you know, keep it simple at first, or keep it playful, or don't take it too seriously, but kind of just like find a way to enter this energy of teaching or of presenting knowledge so that it doesn't feel so daunting, and you can kind of like ease into the water and then realize like, hey, it's not so bad in here. Actually, I'm enjoying this, and all of a sudden all these things are opening up for you and you're like feeling really great. You know, it's like you kind of just have to take that first step into the unknown and do it. And then we got get grounded. Empaths, highly sensitives, connect with nature. Yeah. So you are an empath and highly sensitive. And what this means in this context of this message that's coming through is like you are really wired to connect with other people. And that's what empaths are. You know, you can be a hermit if you're an empath. Like, I'm a hermit and I'm a major empath. I'm like like the biggest empath. It's so annoying sometimes. I know you probably can relate. But it means that that your destiny is also to do with other people and connecting in that heart space with other people. And you're very highly sensitive, yes, and you can use that to your advantage. And that's part of what you stepping more into the spiritual realm of things will do for you, is like you're meant to work and operate through the spirit realms. You're meant to work in that energy or in that arena of very much to do with like workplace, or your role of how you contribute into the earth, or how you contribute to the collective consciousness, that kind of stuff. And so Spirit's saying like, get grounded, right? Because I think there's a lot of fear coming in about, like I'm picking up on it in your energy, and it's like there's fear around being seen or being ridiculed or persecuted or laughed at or humiliated or whatever. And that is very real stuff. But there's the need to kind of push through that, to ground yourself in nature, to ground yourself in the truth of things, and to really start to get excited about what this opportunity could bring for you. Or maybe you're the one creating this opportunity. But connect with nature. Why isn't this card? There we go. Connect with nature is sort of saying like, to me, nature is the frequency of truth. You know, it's not all the constructed stuff that we can get distracted by, you know. It's the truth. It's like you can sit in a huge city, in a park in the middle of the city, and you can connect in with the truth of the energy of the earth, right? But it's really easy to get ungrounded if you're like, say, take the example of you're in a big city and there's all this pavement everywhere and all these people going off to these jobs and caffeine and consumption and shops and all this energy that kind of like lifts you above the grounded frequency. And then it's like if you connect in with the grass and the earth and the dirt, and you ground your energy back down in and you connect with what is true, that's really groundedness, you know what I mean? And you can start to see the city and all that stuff as kind of like an illusion. It's like a man-made thing, but it's like, what is the energy that is eternal? And that's the energy within you that you're here to bring through you. Let's do some more tarot cards. Okay. About what is Spirit wanting you to know about your like psychic abilities right now? The Wheel of Fortune. Oh my god. Yeah. I love this. I mean, it's just destiny. It's like, yeah, that's what I was saying. I mean, that's what I was picking up. Is like, once you begin this thing, it's like a wheel. At the beginning, the wheel is going to be stationary, but once you begin teaching or sharing or whatever it is, you start pushing that wheel and it starts generating momentum, and then it's spinning before you know it, and it's generating momentum on its own, and all these opportunities are magnetized to you. You're being lifted up into a new way of being in the world. A new destiny opens up for you. There's a lot here for you at this time right now, but it does involve sharing your voice and stepping up into more of a leadership role in how you are able to convey the soul wisdom that is unique to you. And there's also shadow work to be done around valuing who you are and the unique perspective that you offer. Because I'm seeing sometimes you can get caught in this shadow energy of like, I'm not good enough, or not having confidence in yourself or your abilities, or some kind of thinking you still need to prepare. I need to prepare more. I need to prepare more. I need to prepare more, but you don't. It's all good. Like you're good enough right now. That's what I'm getting. And that's part of what that message coming through with the get grounded and connect with nature is. It's like connect with the truth. Okay? Connect with the truth. And I find nature to be very clarifying for these things. Very peaceful. And there's a lot of healing being offered to you now because, okay, so the other message coming through is like with the shadow work that you're doing right now that is being, you're probably being thrust into it a bit at the moment. That stuff of like, I'm not good enough. What if people laugh at me? What if I fail? What if no one cares about what I have to say? All that kind of stuff. Spirit's kind of saying the only way for you to clear that shadow work from your system is to go out into the world and to do it. Oh my God, look at the back of the deck. It's the star. I wasn't even looking at this. Yes, to be seen, to share your light, to share your divinity with the world. Oh my gosh, hello. Okay, the star. Maybe you're going to start a YouTube or collaborate with someone. I don't know. But Spirit's kind of saying like the way to move through the shadow work is not so much beforehand, but it's through the doing of the thing. So like you're not going to be able to completely clear your shadow of stepping up into a leadership position before you do the stepping up into the leadership position. And that's the scary part of it, because you might think, I'm just going to get this all clean and polished, and then I'm going to go ahead and step up into that leadership position. But Spirit's saying it's kind of energetically impossible, because through the stepping up into the leadership position is how the shadow gets cleared. And it's how you move past those limiting beliefs about yourself and your ability. And it's also because once you step up into that position, there's like an energy that's going to meet you, which is going to propel you, accelerate your progress, and it's going to allow more of your frequency to come through you. It's going to allow more of your soul gifts to come into your being. It's kind of like, yeah, it's kind of like a portal into this new energy for you. Anything else they need to know about this process, Spirit? Or anything else you would like to say to them about this process, Spirit? Oh my gosh. Hello. We got the Lovers. This is 3 major arcana in a row. Well, I mean, I guess the first one was already pulled. But anyway, the King of Wands as well. So the King of Wands means a lot of different things, but in the good tarot that I use, the King of Wands is like an enlightened influencer, and I feel like that is a perfect description of what Spirit is trying to bring through for this card today. Is like, you are here to be an influencer and to be kind of seen, and that can be in like your community or your family. It doesn't have to be like online on YouTube or anything, but potentially for a lot of you guys it will be online or on YouTube or in a bigger way than just like a couple of people. And there's something really important about the choosing to show up, because the Lovers is about a choice that we make. And Spirit's reminding you that you have free will, okay? Sometimes I laugh about free will, because when we're in the face of our destiny, it can feel sometimes like we don't really have free will, because what else is there to choose? Like when our destiny presents itself, it's like, it's so magnetic, and we feel so compelled, and it feels like I have to face this challenge, you know, even though I want to run away, I have to face this. And it's funny because Spirit's like, well, we have free will. And I'm like, yeah, but Spirit, when we're in the face of our destiny, it doesn't really feel like free will a lot of the time. It feels like I have no other choice. I have to go through this thing, because where else am I going to go? Whew. So anyway, but Spirit is reminding you, there's no missed opportunities. It's not about that. It's not that kind of like, oh, you got to take it or else you're not going to. No, your destiny will always find you. What is yours can never be withheld from you. What is yours can never be withheld from you. But there is a message about like, choose what you want, and be mindful of not choosing your safety zone, your comfort zone, or choosing something that is known versus something that is unknown. There's also a message coming through about, maybe it's about a collaboration with someone or a partnership with somebody as well, or potentially about a union, potentially with a twin flame or with some kind of divine counterpart. Any number of those things. Like, it could be just a friend, or it could be like a lover, or it could be someone you want to collaborate with in business or something about that, and recognizing that that person has come into your life for a divine reason and to take that opportunity kind of thing. As well, with the twin flame energy that's coming through, I know some of you guys are twin flames out there, and the Lovers is a very twin flame kind of card. And there's a message about your destiny to do with your twin flame, and like the energy that you guys are here to bring through onto the earth. It's, you know, any divine union is something that's like watched over by spirit. And see, in this card, there's like there's the couple, and then there's like the spirit or the angel watching over them. And that's kind of like what spirit wants to remind you of if you're going through any kind of struggle within the twin flame journey or within some kind of divine counterpart union thing. Recognizing that like the energy that you two are creating together is something that is so divine and something that is being offered to the world. It's sort of like you are a whole energy, they are a whole energy, and the energy that you bring together when you go into union with somebody, even if it's just a collaboration of some kind for a business or something, it creates its own energy. Like, you give birth to a third energy, and that is the energy that truly nourishes the world. It's kind of like the energy of unity is what I'm seeing. And it's like we need the energy of unity to bring through unity consciousness so we can transcend duality and move through into anchoring the frequency of the new earth. And the new earth is certainly one of unity. So there's this real intense message coming through about the unity of something you are going to co-create with someone. Like, the energy of the union. This is making sense. It's like you are somebody. What am I trying? It's like there's someone and then someone else. You're one of those people. Like, it's you or it's you, right? And then there's someone else, right, that you're going to come together with. And it doesn't have to be in a romantic way for everyone, but for some of you guys it will be. And the energy that you two create is like this angel up here. It's like it's a divine entity that is created through the frequency of unity. Therefore, it is bringing through the perfect balance of things into the earth. It's like the feminine, the masculine come together, it creates unity. It's the perfect balance of the duality comes together and creates a union, right? It's unity. And yeah, it's a pretty powerful thing. And Spirit's just reminding you of your role in New Earth, actually, really. It's really ultimately what that message is coming through as. It's like, you are here to bring through the frequency of the new earth, and you're being initiated very intensely into that right now. And some of that is going to be exciting and exhilarating, and some of that's going to be scary and testing and challenging. Okay, it's going to be both. Interesting. Let's pull another card for you for guidance right now. What do you need to know? Guardian, you and your loved ones are safe and spiritually protected. Yeah, especially if you're stepping into something that you don't know the outcome of, like sharing your wisdom or something. You know, Spirit's reminding you that you're safe, you're spiritually protected. It's gonna be okay. Like, there are certain things that when we align to the energy of it, it creates a momentum that sweeps us up into it that is far safer than remaining where we were. And that is like so the lesson of life, right? It's like, it's for you, for this reading, it's like there's an opportunity presenting to you now, or will be. And it's going to evoke fear. It's going to evoke deep shadow of different things, unworthiness, or I need to prepare more, or I need to do more, I need to be more, I need to have more before I can do this thing. And Spirit's saying, walk through that portal, seize that opportunity, and it will carry you through on a wave of energy with such great momentum that you'll be carried forward into your destiny with the Wheel of Fortune. in a way that even though you face all that challenging emotion and you face that fear and it's hard, in a way you're going to feel really safe because you're aligned. And there's no better feeling than being aligned to our destiny, right? Because the other thing with this stuff is like, there are opportunities that come in and they challenge us, right? But we're going to get channeled. What the heck did I say? We're going to get challenged whether we choose to participate in our challenges or whether we just get whammed and hit over the head by it from spirit, right? It's like we can try and sit in our comfort zone and like pave ourselves into our comfort zone and be like, no one can come in, I'm in my comfort zone. And spirit's still going to find a way in to make you feel uncomfortable so you get out of your comfort zone and challenge you and be like, oh, thought you were so comfortable. Well, not anymore. You know what I mean? So it's sort of like you can choose to like avoid the opportunity and think that you're staying comfortable when actually it's not going to be that comfortable. Or you can like choose to like step into this thing that feels right for you and be swept up into a wave of like love and change and high frequency. They're both with challenge, sure. But there's a lot of destiny energy in this one for you guys, in this reading for you guys. Like, there's a lot of destiny here. So go for it. I mean, it's such a positive thing, even though it requires shadow work. But that's sort of like the energy of all things on this earth. Like, there is both, you know? It's like there's so much beauty, and then there's so much of the opposite of that. Oh, it's funny. All right, let's pull you one card to end with. Oof, life is speeding up for you, group 3. Yeah, it does feel like there's things that are just going to carry forward on a momentum of their own. And it's like, here you go. Let's pull one more. I feel really good about this for you guys, though. Like, I really feel there's a lot of, I think it's something you've been needing for a while, actually. It's this big change and this big, shift. Yeah. And you've earned it, I've just heard as well. You've earned it. You've done the work to pave the path to get to yourself to this point where you jump and take that leap of faith into your destiny. And that's part of free will as well. This is kind of how I'm seeing kind of how I see free will, is that we have these certain points in our path that are like these really big moments of like destiny and life changing. Like we meet that person, or we take that job, or we move that to that place, or whatever, you know, so many different variations of that. And it's like we kind of have to take the steps using our free will to align ourselves with that destiny point. And then we have to take, obviously, we have to jump into our destiny. But it's like there's so many choices that you've made to get yourself to this point, and reflect on the work that you've already done and how much shadow work it's taken you to get to yourself to this place, and kind of like celebrate that, because in a way I'm hearing like it's all up from here. Like life is speeding up. Really, there's like a really positive dawn waiting for you. Yeah. Okay, one more card for group 3, Spirit. Open to infinite possibility. I love this. Yeah. And you are an infinite being, you know. You're a star seed. You're a star. The starfish. You gotta be kidding me. And then there was the starseed card, what lights you up, and then there was the star card on the back of the deck. So there you go. You are a star. You're working with that cosmic frequency. Alright, group 3. That's all I have for you today, but I do hope that it served you in some way. And yeah, be sure to check out source codes if it interests you on Patreon, link in the description. Much love. See you soon. Bye for now.